Hey guys, Crystal Brady here, your expert in all things real estate. Today I want to talk about what happens if a home appraises low. So let's talk about a scenario to make it easy to understand, and then what your options might be. Let's say a buyer is purchasing a home for $200,000, but the appraisal comes in at $195,000. So now we're $5,000 off on the appraised value. We're $5,000 low. So there's a few different things that could happen in this scenario. The first thing that could happen is the buyer can request that the seller match the appraised value. In that scenario, the transaction would continue to move forward, but unfortunately the seller would have a net loss of an additional $5,000 in that scenario. In the next possible scenario, the buyer could come out of pocket for the difference and keep moving forward with the sale as well, which for the buyer would mean they have to bring an extra $5,000 to the closing table in order to make that transaction move forward. The last scenario that sometimes happens is they meet in the middle somewhere, or there's something that's negotiated between the buyer and seller. Maybe they split the difference where the buyer's coming out of pocket an extra $2,500 and the seller's coming down $2,500, or some variation of that. Those are all the scenarios that typically happen to keep the sale moving forward. Now, as a seller, you're not obligated to lower the price or agree to renegotiate. So the deal could essentially die at this point. If the seller does not want to further negotiate or accept a lower amount than the contracted price of $200,000, then either party could walk away at that point. The buyer does not have to agree to pay more. The buyer could walk away at that point as well if they cannot successfully renegotiate with the seller. So I would say in most cases, usually buyers and sellers are able to work something out. It's very rare a deal falls apart if we're close. Obviously, if there's a large discrepancy in the appraisal, then that might be where you see a deal die. But if we're pretty close and we can meet in the middle, or the seller can come down, usually our transactions are going to keep moving forward at that point. If you have any more questions about these scenarios or what happens when a house appraises low, please comment below. Thanks.